What's going on, my beautiful people? What's going on? So I am back, Relatively Sports with yours truly, Eugene Napoleon. And you see what I got on, right? You see the show that I got on? Hail, West Virginia, hail, WVU. Yes, it's about that time. It's about that time, Mountaineers. It's about that time. In a few short weeks, we will go to Pittsburgh. We will take on them Panthers. I'm not even going to get into the score of the game. All I know is this. Our Mountaineers will come home with a victory. I'm not even getting to the score. Just know that we will win. How about that? Okay. Now, without further ado, I have a special guest. I'm honored to have known this man for quite a few years. His son is one of the top 7th grade student athletes in the entire state of New Jersey. That's right, the entire state. And this particular individual I'm talking about is none other than former NFL wide receiver Donald Jones. Donald's played with the Buffalo Bills for a few years, and he finished his career with the New England Patriots. And I'm honored and blessed to have him and his son on today on my show, Relatively Sports with Eugene Napoleon. We're going to talk about recruiting, him parenting, just a few things, some of the stuff he had to do to get to the NFL and those sorts of things. So without further ado, here's my guest, Donald Jones. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, my guy, Donald Jones, former wide receiver in the NFL for the Buffalo Bills, and finished his career with the New England Patriots. It's been an honor and pleasure to know you for all these years, my good brother.
Hey, it's definitely been a pleasure to meet and know you, and you really are the man, the myth, and the legend. It's not me.
Listen, I saw what you did there. I appreciate you sliding it back over.
That's how you got to do it.
Listen, I know I'm not going to keep you long because I know that you stepped out of practice for this, you and your son, man, and I appreciate you doing this for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to get right to it. Although Mountaineer fans, check this out, Donald would have looked great in that blue and gold. We already know that, Mountaineer fans, but I told him I was going to say this, and he has something to say in rebuttal to that. And what say you, Donald?
I mean, you know, from the family tree, you guys got Kevin White and you guys got Kaiser White. So, you know, and Karan. So look, we sent a few down there, even though I wasn't able to make it down there, we still made it happen for you.
That's true. The bloodline. Yeah. How about that?
That's right.
So I want to ask you this. You coming from the route that you had to go to get to the NFL, how tough was that? And could you share with some of the fans and some of the up and coming student athletes what it took for you to get to the NFL?
I mean, you know, I took the long route to the NFL coming out of Plainfield High School in New Jersey, public high school, I guess an inner city type of school, and just not doing what I needed to do in terms of grades. And because of that, I had to go to junior college. I lost a lot of scholarship money, which was very upsetting to my parents. So I had to go to junior college. And in my first year of my junior college, I wasn't even on a scholarship, you know. So I went to junior college, and then I had to ball out there. And I went to Youngstown State, smaller school in Youngstown, Ohio, right up the street, right in the neck of the woods of West Virginia and all of that stuff, a little bit down the road. But I went out there, and then I had to go undrafted, you know, just because of health conditions. I have kidney disease, and you know, I'm sure we'll get to it. Eventually had to have a kidney transplant, but that was the reason I was undrafted. So it was a very long route in getting to the league. But I would say this, without that route, you know, I don't know, all of those things must have been necessary in my life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And see, that's the thing I'm talking about with perseverance and doing what you need to do to get to the next level. What would you say, as you said, it was a long road to get to where you need to get to your ultimate destination was the NFL, but what would you say to those student athletes who the one hint of adversity they give up? You went, you went the long, so the one hint they just quit. What do you say to those student athletes?
I mean, look, in life, for the rest of your life, and right now you're a student athlete, so you're still young, you got to compete. And that's something you're going to have to do for the rest of your life, whatever it is. If you're going for a job, if you start your own business, there's going to be people out there that you're competing with, right? So you can't just quit once it gets hard right away. In this day and age, my hat is blowing all over the place here. In this day and age, there's such a culture of just like, I'm going to transfer with the transfer portal and all of that stuff, that kids are not competing the way they should. It's just like, I'm gonna just go somewhere else and see where if I can find somewhere that's better for me, you know. But you really need to develop in your mind that mindset of just competing, because you go get a job. I mean, obviously, yes, you can leave the job and say, this is not for me, I'm gonna go somewhere else. But at some point, the next job gonna be like, yo, you just got that job over there. You done went to 3 or 4 different jobs in the last couple of years. What's going on here?
Right. Absolutely. And that's the thing, that what I've always loved about you, no matter what, you were a success on the field and equally as successful off the field. Best-selling author. Tell us about your book.
Yeah, so after I retired, I wrote and self-published a book called The Next Quarter, Scoring Against Kidney Disease. And so, you know, I wrote it. It's about my upbringing coming out of New Jersey, my journey all the way up into the league, and then the reason why I had to retire from the NFL, which was ultimately my kidney disease and having a kidney transplant shortly after that. So, you know, I put it out. It became an Amazon bestseller the first day, and the rest is history.
Right, man. And that's the other thing. Before I segue into your talented son, one of the keys that I have a problem with when I'm talking to parents and the student athletes and just students in general, it's the idea that you can be successful without the work ethic.
Right.
And I don't, and I get it. We're in a new day and age, and right now social media rules all, so to speak. So you being a parent of one of the most talented 7th graders in the entire state of New Jersey, how is it that you have him so focused and so locked in on what he needs to do as a student? Before we bring him on, I would like you to answer that from a parent standpoint.
You know, he's been around since I was playing when he was born. You know, I was still playing in the NFL, and he's been around me just going to camps when I was working in the media up in Buffalo, going to training camps and just seeing these guys work. He's loved football since he was young, really sports in general, but he's loved football since he was young. And I've constantly preached to him that value of competing all the time and that value of hard work. And it doesn't matter how good you may or may not be. If you don't work hard, there's a very good chance that you're not going to make it. You know, so that's really what it comes down to. We've all heard the saying, hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard. It's so true, even though it sounds cliche. It's the truth. If you don't work hard, I know so many people that were so much better than me from my hometown that just didn't have that work ethic. And because I did, and I constantly was grinding, I was the one that made it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So listen, without further ado, I'm going to give you a chance to introduce your own son on Relatively Sports with Eugene Napoleon. Have at it.
All right, I'm gonna. So after I get done introducing him, I'm gonna take off this headset and hand over it to him. But my son, Kion Jones, 11 years old, so 7th grade. I guess one of the top 7th graders in the state of New Jersey, and you know, maybe one day we'll be sending him down the road to WU. I don't know. We'll have to see about that.
That's what I'm talking about. I didn't want to say it. I wanted you to say it.
So I'm going to hand this over to him right now.
You got it. There he is. There he is. What's up, young man?
Nothing.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm blessed. Thank you so much for coming on my show, Relatively Sports with Eugene Napoleon. It's good to have you, Colin. So good to have you. Listen, I know you're busy because you're at practice right now, right?
I'm at the high school practice with my father.
Got you. So I won't keep you long, but I have a few questions I want to ask. So I know, and your dad just said, you are one of the top 7th graders in the entire state of New Jersey, and I'm proud. Our home state, you know what I'm saying? So my first question for you, what's your favorite academic subject?
My favorite academic subject is math because after I play football, I want to be an engineer.
Wow, that's awesome. That's what's up. Okay. And I know you play several sports, but when did you start playing? At what age did you start playing sports?
My first sport was basketball when I was 5, and then I started playing football when I was 6.
Wow. Okay. So young. Okay. You started young. And what is your favorite position on the football field and basketball court?
Uh, really wide receiver for football, and for basketball, I like point guard the most.
Okay. So you like the ball in your hands. Okay. All right. I got you. You like running the court. I got
Yeah.
you. Okay. That's what's up. Um, what are some of your goals in life? Have you figured that out yet?
Well, yeah, my main goal is to make it to the NFL, but after that, I want to be an engineer, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's up? That's what's up. Now, listen, here's an important question. And you and I spoke before, so I actually know the answer. And you can say the real answer. What is your favorite college and why?
Uh, my favorite college is Ohio State because it's a great school academically and sports wise.
Absolutely. Now, here's what's funny. Ohio State is a good school, and it's in one of the top conferences in the country. We all know that, the Big Ten. And when I was coming out of high school many moons ago, Big Ten meant big time because you had some of the most prolific academic institutions who also happen to be really good athletic institutions. And Ohio State fell right in the middle of that. So for you to say that, I understand that. But hopefully, one of these days, WVU might get a shot at you. I would hope.
Maybe.
I would hope. Yeah,
We'll
it could
see.
be. We'll see. And then you can finish that bloodline down there, in Morgantown, West Virginia.
All right, we'll see.
We'll see. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to keep you on our radar, young man. And I'm so proud of you. This is what being a great student athlete is all about. Here it is again. You're in the 7th grade, but you're able to do stuff like this because you are one of the best student athletes in our entire state. So for that, I commend you. I applaud you. And we definitely will keep our eye on you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're more than welcome. Listen, you have a great rest of the day.
All right, you too.
You got it. Thank you. Let me tell you something. You got a great young man there, and you already know that.
Hey, thank you, man. Trying to raise him right.
Listen,
let him know to be well-rounded.
absolutely, and I can tell that he is. I definitely can tell he is. So you tell me real quick, I know you got to bounce to practice, but is there anything, if I asked you to give some last words of advice to some of these up and coming student athletes, what would it be?
Last words of advice. It's always going to be compete. That's really what it comes down to, and that's on and off the field. And everything that you're doing, make sure that you come with the proper mindset, compete every day in the classroom, on the field, all of that stuff. The other thing that I would say is this: networking is just as important as that degree that you're going to get from any school, especially West Virginia. Networking is the key to everything that you're doing, because once you get done, it's going to be friendships and relationships that you've built throughout the years of playing football that can possibly take you into whatever it is that you're going to do after football. And at the end of the day, this is going to end. Football will end at some point. Some of you might be blessed to go on and play pro, but most of us won't. And it's going to end, and you're going to have to do something else after. So just make sure that you're networking and preparing for that all the time.
Absolutely. You want to give a shout out where you are right now? I know you're a coach. You could definitely plug it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm here at St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Edison, New Jersey. Today is actually technically first day of training camp, but all we're doing is giving out equipment. They got to do a conditioning test, though. Gene, I'm sure you remember those.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So they got to do that. We're going to see who's been working.
I know that's right. Well, it's a scorcher. I think it's like 90-something degrees, 93 degrees, something like that.
It is. It's the perfect day to do it.
Yeah, listen, I know you're busy. I'm going to let you get back to it. Donald, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Take care.
Having us, I should say.
All
right, peace.
Later. What a great interview with my guy and his son. Donald Jones is one of the classiest young people, man. I've known him for a few years now, and just a great guy, truly an ambassador of the sport in every means of the word. Now, you already know, just getting a chance to listen to his 11-year-old son talk about some of the things and answer some of those questions, you see why this young man is going to be something on and off the football field and basketball court. And like I said, I'm gonna keep an eye on that young man because hopefully he'll be on our recruiting board in a few short years. So listen, I really want all the fans, anybody that watch this particular my channel, Relatively Sports with Eugene Napoleon, everything else that we're doing on this channel, please keep in mind, it's so important for your support. Please subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification button, just so we can continue to get your support. We would greatly appreciate that. I am Eugene Napoleon. This is Relatively Sports with Mar, and I hope to see you. Well, actually, I know I will see you next week. I got another superstar guest coming on here next week. I'll give you a peek. It's the man who helped to create the and one streetball phenomenon, none other than Wally Dixon, aka the main event. He'll be on Napoleon, with me, Relatively Sports with Eugene Napoleon next week. So make sure you tap in and tune in. And until then, you take care. Keep on doing what you're supposed to do. Work hard. Success is all about the completion of a task. Let's go, Mountaineers.